Hey everybody, what we have here is the Presto Pizzazz Plus rotating oven. I actually discovered this device through a video by James of Freakin Reviews, but I'll leave a link to his channel and his video in the description below. If you haven't seen his channel before, guys, definitely check it out. He has great reviews on products, and with that said, very unbiased reviews of products, which is like something so rare to be seen these days. So if you want good reviews, check out his channel. You definitely won't be disappointed. Anyway, so I discovered this through his video in, I believe, 2020. And kind of like him, I was kind of late to the party. I had no idea that these things existed for so many years, like he had said. So I was kind of surprised. So I guess he and I are kind of in the same boat of being late to the party, I guess, if you want to say. But here it is. It's a very simple device. It's mechanically controlled. Very happy about that. And here's your heating coil selector, the timer, and inside here, this is, I guess, what you can call the spindle for the rotating pan, which is right over there. And inside here, you can see there is a bottom and a top heating coil, which obviously is your lower and your upper. So, very simple device in that regard. Over here on the back, they give you some preset times and things like that to use. Now, the Rising Crust pizza, I think is, I think these times set here are for more like thinner pizzas, because I know over on James' review, he had used a California Pizza Kitchen pizza, say that 3 times fast, and that was on the thinner side, so that definitely followed these times more accurately. But for thicker pizzas like the one I'm going to use, which we'll get to in a bit, you definitely want to go more than what these are saying right here. But it does give you like a general idea of what to expect, and just some important notes here on the top. And one benefit about this device is, like it said on the back before, you don't have to preheat it. You just put the pizza right on and then turn it on. And one thing we'll also see is I'll also be using the watt meter on this to show what this pulls while it's running compared to the regular oven right here, because this is an electric oven. So I'll be able to give a comparison more or less here, because if you have a gas oven, I don't quite know what the efficiency differences are with that. But anyway, I know for a fact that on both ovens here, the top element, which is the broiler, is rated for like 3,600 watts, which is a high amount of power. So we're going to see exactly what this rotating oven will pull, and just the fact that you don't have to preheat it is kind of a sign in itself that, you know, it's could be more efficient, definitely. But we'll get to that all in a little bit. And one other thing I like about this is that, as I told you before, I've already used this device, so I know what it can do. The pizzas that I've put on here, they've come out cooked much more evenly all around than the regular oven. Because like I said, when I use the DiGiorno Rising Crust pizza, did I say I was going to use that already? But anyway, that's what we're going to use. And the problem I had with it was cooking the crust outside, you know, very strongly, if you want to, for lack of a better term. But it got to a point where the middle of the pizza was still kind of sunk down, which means it wasn't really cooked yet. But before that would get fully cooked, the outside cheeses would start getting pretty dark and dried out. And speaking for myself, I just don't like pizza that way. I like the pizza when the cheese is still like well, not dried out, still has a little bit of whiteness to it, I guess you could say that. So so we're going to see how this device will cook the pizza, and we're also going to do something else with it later on. And James also did another example of that in his video, which we'll get to as well. But for now, let's go ahead and get this set up. So I'll try to do this one-handed the best that I can. So what you want to do is you want to get this middle portion, that little part of the pan, onto the spindle there. And I'll try to do it one-handed, like I said. Shouldn't be too bad. I'm not really looking at the camera right now, I'm looking over there. There we go. And it kind of just settles into place. Now you may notice that when the pan settles into place, you'll hear like a clicking sound. That's just because there's some kind of safety switch in there where if you were to take this pan off while and try to turn the oven on, the coils won't operate. The fan and the spindle will, but without the pan in place, the coils won't turn on. So I guess it's kind of like a safety feature that they have built into it. All right, so let's go ahead and you know what? Let's go ahead and get the watt meter first. Then we'll get the pizza out and get it going. And here it is, just to show you exactly what we'll be seeing, of course. And we have the wattage, the amperage, and we have a good voltage coming in. And I also reset the kilowatt hours, just so you can get an idea of what this is going to pull for a couple of usage, which really shouldn't be all that bad compared to an electric oven for sure. All right, now we'll go ahead and we'll get the pizza out. Okay, and there it is on the pan. Now, I'm going to do my settings a certain way. Well, I'm going to follow the lower than dual, and I'll explain to you the details after we get it going, in case you're curious. So we're going to set it to the lower heating coil to start, and I'll go ahead and plug it in. Hopefully do this one-handed. There we go. As you can see, the fan and the pan operate. And just that by itself, it's using just over 13 watts, not all that much. Alright, so let's go ahead, and what I'm going to do to start with the Rising Crust pizza is, I'm going to go ahead and turn the timer all the way to the 20-minute mark. Okay. And first we'll go ahead and, well, you know, it's warming up. We'll get to that in a second. Now, one of the ways I found to cook this pizza is, if you have a Rising Crust pizza, it definitely is a good idea to start with just the bottom coil, because you want the bottom of the pizza to get some heat going through it, through the bottom, and get through the middle here. Then once that's kind of done, so to say, you then switch it to dual and go from there. And what I found is, depending on how you like your pizza cooked, I mean, this is just DiGiorno pizza, it could vary with different brands, but if you like your pizza kind of medium done, what I do is I do 7 minutes on lower and then 18 minutes on dual. If you want this kind of pizza done more thoroughly, then what you would do is you'll do 10 minutes on lower and then 20 minutes on dual. And I kind of figured that out through multiple experimentations, really. It's really the best way that I found how to get this going properly. So it's easy enough to figure out. Basically, I started at 20, and then simple math, when it gets down to 13, that's 7 minutes. So then once it gets down to 13, I switch it to dual, put it to 18 minutes, and then just let it go ahead and finish. So while it's going here, here's what it pulls on just the bottom coil. Got about just roughly 535 watts. It's climbing up a little bit as it gets warmer. But yeah, not all that bad. And maybe you can hear the ticking sound as the bottom coil is warming up. And of course, obviously, if you have any kids around, you want to be careful, because as this heats up, this pan will get hot, and you don't want to touch it with your bare hands. So just be careful with that. Again, like I said, if you have any kids or you're around this oven, be very careful. That pan will get hot. So you're not going to see much happen on top here, because it's just doing the lower coil right now. But it is, don't try this at home. Disclaimer, yeah, the pan's starting to warm up a little bit. So it's just heating up the bottom right now. So then it eventually will make its way through. One thing I have done sometimes, disclaimer, you do this at your own risk, but when this pizza gets kind of thawed, sometimes I'll move the pepperonis around or move the cheese off the crust, put it more in the middle, just to make it more even, I guess, or neatly done, if you want to call it that. But again, like I said, if you do that, you do so at your own risk. Be very careful. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and let this keep going for a few minutes, and then we will come back when time has progressed. Just to give you an operational shot, you can see the glow of the bottom coil reflecting off the pan there. And as you can see, the upper one is still off yet. We haven't gone to it yet. But yeah, you can see it's definitely operating properly. And yeah, one thing you may also notice too is that DiGiorno tends to be kind of weird with their Rising Crust pizzas. If you notice, it's kind of more like an oval shape instead of a circle. Not too sure why that happens, but really, I haven't had any issues with it. And really, this may not even be a bit of a test. It can even show you that a weirdly shaped pizza will still cook okay. Yeah, so we're just going to go ahead and let this continue going. We've used up 4 minutes so far, just about. And then soon we will go ahead and switch this to dual. Okay, we're just maybe a little bit past 7 minutes, but that's okay. So again, not much has happened on top, but the pizza has warmed up on the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and switch this to dual. And I'm going to move this to 18. And we should be all set to go. So now from this point on, top coil is going to heat up, and the pizza will definitely get thoroughly cooked. And once this fully warms up, we'll go ahead and check the watt meter again. Alright, pizza has definitely thawed. A few minutes have gone by. And yeah, now you can see, if you look at the pizza oven, both coils are currently glowing. Yep. So it has a nice glow to it when it operates. And if we go to the watt meter, all things considered, really not that bad, I don't think. Admittedly, I don't know how much the baking coil uses in the oven compared to the broiler coil, but I mean, again, you don't have to heat it up, you don't have to preheat it or anything like that, so that is certainly some savings there. One argument you could make, I guess, is that, you know, ovens cycle on and off when they reach temperature. But again, even with the cycling on and off, I still think this will definitely use less over time. Here's how many kilowatt hours we've used so far. And in terms of the amount of heat being given off by it, I say just to the end of the counter, when you move away from it, you really don't feel much of anything. So this really doesn't do all that bad in terms of, you know, giving off too much heat instead of cooking the pizza. And you can see it's definitely doing its job. Like, cheese is melting, pepperoni's all thawed by this point. You can hear a little bit of sizzling now too if you look carefully, or hear carefully. Alright, so we'll go ahead and let this go a little bit further, and then we shall be back. Okay, so we have about maybe 9 minutes to go now. And as you can see here, if you look at the crust has definitely risen up some. The cheese on the crust here is getting a little bit dark. And the part that's coming out from the coil right there. Middle doesn't look like all that much right now, but trust me, as it continues on, it will start to like get more uniform and everything. One thing I don't know if I mentioned before was DiGiorno actually also does have a hand-tossed pizza. And basically it's like, you know, it's kind of like this, just not as thick obviously because it's not a rising crust. And the way you can cook that pizza is you can skip the entire lower coil, or rather just lower heating coil process, however you want to call it that. Basically, when you put the hand-tossed pizza on, just start right at dual. And if you want the pizza done moderately like I do, 18 minutes. If you want it really done, 20 minutes. Just that on dual, and you're all set. Little note for you. Okay, so we just got a little bit more than 3 minutes to go. And if you look at the pizza now, it's definitely looking cooked. And like I said, I mean, the middle says a little bit more to go, but we'll get there. But if this was in the regular oven by this point, this would just be so much darker. Like, this would start to be browning inside here. Like, and some of you may like that, I get it. But, I mean, just for me, I like the fact that it's, you know, much more, it's being cooked much more evenly. And you can just see that it's still a nice amount of white cheese on top, hasn't darkened or anything like that. So, this is looking very good for sure. All right, and we shall be back when the timer expires. Okay, so we have probably less than a minute to go here. Should ding soon. But this looks fantastic. This is very much to my liking. Like I said, see, cheese is still all white. You even got some white cheese on the sides here. It is cooked though, as you can see. But yeah, if this was in the regular oven, this would be heavily dark brown by now, and this still wouldn't be totally done. Oh, there it is. This is cooking so much better than the regular oven would. Now, as a matter of fact, you heard the timer click right there, okay? And obviously, the coils have turned off, now they're cooling down. But I let it stay on there because even though the coils are cooling down, there's still a ton of residual heat left to cook it just a little bit further and also to keep it warm. So, you know, I try to get everything I can out of it, more or less, if you want to say that. Yeah, as you can see, both coils have turned off. A little slight glow, but they're going away. And just out of curiosity's sake, if you want, here's what we used so far. So we're down to 11.8 or 9 watts, just because it's just the motor, or rather the fan in the pan. And then, so less than half a kilowatt hour. So definitely not bad, I think. I think this thing uses electricity very well, honestly, especially for a pizza, which I think is its longest running time. But yeah, you still have a little bit of sizzling too, but this looks absolutely fantastic. Alright, so we'll go ahead and let this go a little bit further, maybe like a minute or two. Then I'll take the pan off and move it to this dish over here. And there it is on the plate. Now, ironically, the shape of the pizza kind of make it fit on the plate better than if it was just a perfect circle. But also, one thing I do is when I lift off the pan, I do it very carefully. But I let this keep going for maybe a couple to a few minutes more, just to let the fan help it cool down a little bit. Then I just unplug it when it's all done. But yeah, as you can see, this is perfect for me. Again, if you think you want this pizza done a little bit more, you can do, again, with the rising crust, you can do lower for 10 minutes instead of 7, and then dual for 20 minutes instead of 18 minutes. And again, if you have the hand-tossed pizza, 18 minutes for moderately done with dual, 20 minutes with dual for more done. And I think that's perfect to my liking. And just to show you down here, here's the, you want to see the bottom of the pizza. Oh yeah, definitely brown, as you can see. So that's good. So, alright, just one more thing. I'll have it all cut up and show you the final product. And there it is, all cut up. This looks fantastic. Now, in case you're wondering what these red streaks are, that's actually sriracha sauce. Yes, I love putting hot sauce on pizza. I'm that kind of guy. And there's a familiar looking pizza cutter. So there you go. A pizza with the Pizzazz Plus. Definitely did a great job. Pizza's fully cooked, to my liking. Again, yours may be different, but you can see this thing looks absolutely fantastic. Nice and cooked, good to eat, and, well, I guess there it is. So we're going to go ahead and enjoy this, and then afterwards, we'll be back to cook one more thing. Okay, so before we get to the next thing, one thing I realized I totally forgot to mention to you guys was, is the cooking time any longer than the regular oven? For the Rising Crust pizza, it is a little bit longer by about, let's see, I did 17 minutes, I did 7 minutes and then 18 minutes. That one's roughly about the same. But for the hand tossed pizza, it's at least like maybe like 3-4 minutes shorter. So okay, maybe all not that much of a difference, but again, you don't have to wait for it to preheat. It starts heating right away as you put it on. So that's one huge plus, definitely, I think. All right, so let's go ahead and make one more thing. And kind of like James did in his video, what do you say we make some cookies on this, huh? So we're going to be using the Pillsbury chocolate chip cookie dough on here, and I'm going to try to space them out, kind of like he did in his video, and let's see how they come out. So kind of like he did, I think he put 10 of these on here, and I try to put them to the outer portion of the pan as much as I could, because they will spread as they heat up. So hopefully they come out well and not touching each other. If they touch each other, no big deal. Can always just break them apart later. So the way that you do these is, you want, it's for 10 minutes overall. You do 6 minutes on upper, and then the remaining 4 minutes on dual. So this time we're going to start with the upper coil, and then go to dual. So let's go ahead and plug it in. There we go. Same wattage as before, with just the fan and everything. And they're turning. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to set it to upper and go to 10 minutes to start. Right there. And we shall let this go. And once again, just the top coil's going right now. Nothing on the bottom at the moment. And yeah, this looks like they're starting to soften up a little bit. And going to the watt meter. I think the upper one uses a little bit more, doesn't it? I didn't review any video footage, and obviously by the time this is on YouTube, both you and I will know. But as this one, I don't currently know. But I think it's a little bit higher actually. But no matter. All right, so that's what it uses on just the top coil. All right, and then once the timer gets to 4 minutes, we will switch to dual. All right, so we're pretty much at 4 minutes now, so we'll switch it to dual. And yep, they're starting to spread out, as you can see. I think the distance of them is not too bad. So that's pretty good. But yeah, they're softening up and looking pretty good so far. And wattage is probably the same as it was last time when the pizza was going. Now this time, when the timer actually dings, I'm going to try to take this off as soon as I can, because one thing I know about these cookies is, you know, as they spread out, they also get a lot thinner. I'm trying to see if maybe if I take the pan off quickly after the dings, maybe they'll cool down faster and be a little bit thicker. I don't quite know. I don't know how cookie dough works exactly, but it's just a guess. But regardless, once they are all set to go, I will take them off and let them cool down. Both going now. And yeah, they're looking really good. Very, very nice. And we got maybe about a minute left or so. Oh, and also, in case you want to see the watts again. There you go, once it's all settled. Right, so soon these will be all done, and I'll get them out to cool down. And there they are. It's still cooling down right now, but maybe those look a tad thicker than previous ones I've made, but I mean, maybe this is just how the dough is. Like, I don't quite know how the thickness of a cookie works exactly, but it doesn't look too bad. Now, obviously people love cookies when they're warm and soft, but the only problem is when they're warm and soft like they are right now, they're extremely fragile, so they could easily fall apart in your hand, and you can have like a big chocolate mess or something. I'm sure you don't want that. So once these are fully cooled down, maybe I'll move them to a plate, show you how easy it is to take off, and then we shall call this a video. Well, I'd say thickness is about the same overall, honestly, but regardless, don't those look fantastic? Alright, so we'll go ahead and take them off the pan now onto this plate, and get the phone out of the way. And by the way, if you're going to use a spatula on this pan, guys, only use plastic or whatever this is that can withhold heat. I guess it's Teflon? I don't know. But regardless, yeah, just get them like that. Now, look at that. They're sliding off nice and easily. See that? And move the thing over there. There we go. Just slide them off like that. And there you go, guys. There's all the cookies. Those look fantastic, don't they? And here, if you're curious about the overall power usage, There you go, just over half of a kilowatt hour. And that was with the, excuse me, that was with the Rising Crust pizza and also the cookies. So more than likely, it'll be less than that. Not too bad at all. And there you guys go. There is the Presto Pizzazz Plus rotating oven. Again, fantastic product, evenly cooks pizzas, better than the regular oven does. Does cookies very well, tons of other stuff. If you check your owner's manual, it'll show you exactly what you can make in it. Really fantastic product. And if you need to clean this, very simple, just some regular water and dish soap, a sponge, comes out spotless every single time. So overall, guys, fantastic product. Definitely recommend it. And if you're looking for something that can make pizzas very well and everything else, get this. You won't be disappointed. Thank you very much for watching, and take care.